What's up YouTube? Rebel Alters here. I'm going to show you my workflow process for making custom Magic the Gathering proxies. First thing I want to do is make a new page. We're going to be working at 1200 DPI. This is a bit overkill, but it's what I've been using and I've never had any problems, so I just left it as is. I'm going to hit OK. And there's our page. Now all we need is our custom border. So I'm going to drag my file into here. This is just a file I got off the internet. It was someone else's custom card, but all I'm using for this tutorial is the border. So I'm going to drag the border layer onto our new page. Close the old one, don't need it. So from my previous experience, I know I can fit 9 of these cards on one page. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these guides and make them 33% each way. So at 33, 66, once again 33, these are just rough estimates anyways, and at 66. So there's 9 equal squares, close enough. So now what I want to do is take this layer and go to the free transform. So that's under edit, free transform, Control T, Apple T, Command T, whatever you want to call it. We want to lock this button up here so the proportion is going to stay the same. And we're just going to basically drag it probably about that big. There's our starting template. Now we're going to compare it to an actual card. So let's print it off. Okay guys, so here's what I printed off. We're going to line it up. Sorry, I'm holding this with one hand. I don't have a tripod. So we're going to line up the sizes. And you're going to see it's a little too wide. Now if we look here, you can see the borders are actually a little thicker too. That's not too bad though. Comparison. So when we look down here, this is what we're looking for. Let's line up the one corner here so it's perfectly straight. Now this is how much gap we have. That's too much. So the bottom is way too thick, and on the right it's actually not too. You know what? We're going to stay with the same size on the right. On the bottom it's just a little too thick, so we're going to shorten that up. We're not going to take off much because we want a little bit of gap around all the edges. So let's go back to Photoshop. Okay guys, so now we know our card was a little bit too long and pretty good on the width. So all we're going to do is hit Control T, free transform, and we're just going to shrink this side a little bit. I'm going to bring it back just a tad. Okay, hit enter. It's going to finalize the thing, or the transformation. Now, because we don't want to get mixed up, because we're just going to save the same paper, we're going to take this and just drag it over here. We know this is our new one. Okay, let's print it off. Alright guys, I'm back. So the bottom right's our new one. And just to save paper, we can compare it. So let's just drop it down. Now just by looking at it, we took off too much. The left and right is perfect. We took off too much, and I believe it was 2%. So let's go back, undo what we did, and only take off 1%. All right, so we're back here in Photoshop. Let's go back, step back, and we have our original one here. I believe we have to step back one more time to get the size. There we go. That's our old size. So let's go back and change that again and only take off 1%. So we'll take off 1% of the height. bring this down to 99%. All right, so we're going to drag this one over here. We're going to print it off and see what that one looks like. Okay, so this is the third practice, or third attempt. And if you look, it fits pretty darn good. We have just enough overlap to give us a little bit of margin of error on our edges. So now that we know that this is the proper size, this is what we want to use for our borders, let's go ahead and make a template in Photoshop. All right, so this is what we have, guys. This is our OG master border template. So what I want to do here is get rid of these guides, and we're going to start from scratch again with our new guides. So under View, Clear Guides, done. Now let's make this one right dead smack in the middle. 50%, 50%. Now we're going to bring this, our template, and put it right in the middle. Now that that's done, let's zoom in on this and bring this to the edge. Okay, so let's go down closer to this corner and get one on both edges as well. So there's our template. Now we're going to want 9 to fit on one page. So if you hold down the Alt button on this layer, click and drag, that basically makes a duplicate of that layer. Now we want to have a little bit of a gap in between these two, so if we hit the V button, sorry, I don't know what's going on here. Hit the V button and hit the left arrow key. Let's give us a little bit of a gap there, just so we can cut around it. Now what we want to do is add another guide right on this edge, right like that. And then we're going to do the same thing above it. You want it to come up, give it a little bit of a gap. Let's put a guide there. And let's bring a guide to the top. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest, and I'll catch up with you. Alright, so here we are. Back, and this is our template. Now we have all our layers here. We don't need separate layers for all this stuff now, so what we're going to do is highlight all our layers that we made. Right click, and we're going to merge them. Boom. Now if we take off this view icon here, let's unlock it first. Double click on it. Sure, okay. We still have our guides, and that's basically all we really need. So let's just go get a photo here from one of the many files you can get online. Alright, so we're going to use two different kinds, full art and a regular frame. Let's do the regular frame first. So we're going to open up the file here in Photoshop, drag it onto our new one, and then close the old one. Then you're going to line up one corner and hit Control T and drag it down to the other corner. Hit enter. There we go. Now we're going to do the full frame one. Same thing, open up in Photoshop, drag it over, put it into your corner, free transform, hit enter. There you go. That there will tell you, that there will make enough for 9 cards, and there's your template right there. Get rid of these 2 layers that we started off with. Save that one as your original template. Don't overwrite it. Make copies of it so you don't have to do this process over and over again. I found that doing this, you can get away with 9 cards, no problem. You print on whatever you're printing on, whether it's window decal, overhead projectors, But every printer is different, so if I give you my file, it's not necessarily going to work on your computer, or sorry, your printer. So if you have any questions, give me a comment in the comment sections and hit that like button if this helped you out.